Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, I know most of you have already come across this viral clip making the rounds online, but today we're breaking it down properly.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
Just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
Okay. So maybe I don't understand something. And he was just driving, and he didn't have a license. Defendant is to turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
So here's the update. He eventually turned himself and posted bond and now is back in front of the court, just not behind the wheel this time. We'll dive into that case in a moment, and trust me, you'll want to stick around because there's a wild twist waiting at the end. But before we get there, let me bring you up to speed on someone I've been keeping tabs on for a couple of years now, Jeffrey Bloom. And if that name doesn't ring a bell, don't worry, here's a quick clip from his arraignment on domestic violence charges to jog your memory.
You will be held accountable. You will be held accountable.
You got it. Okay. All right, we're all set. Thank you.
You'll be held accountable.
Jeffrey Bloom is, well, let's just say he's a category all on his own. His long drawn-out case is finally nearing the finish line, and today marks one of his last pretrial hearings before he heads to a full jury trial. And judging by Judge Simpson's expressions, it's pretty clear he isn't exactly heartbroken to see this chapter wrapping up, so let's jump right in.
Court calls the case, People versus Jeffrey Bloom.
Good morning, Your Honor. Sam Bernstein with and on behalf of Mr. Bloom, who is present.
What are we doing today?
Your Honor, I'm going to be asking the court to set this for the final settlement conference. I know there's one in August. I know there's one in June. I do have a circuit court jury trial for next Monday that's like pretty firmed up.
Got it.
But I can make the August one work, and I'll leave that open and we'll get it done.
Okay. Jury final settlement conference will be set August 9th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Jury selection in this matter will be August 12th, 2024 at 8:30. Both of those proceedings are in person.
I'll let you go.
I was going to try to get you. I was going to try to get you out of the room. Bloom. I was trying to get you out of the room before you said anything. You knew what I was doing. That's why your finger went up.
At least I'm not driving with a suspended license.
I have no comment.
It's tough to argue that everything was fine when you're not even legally allowed to be behind the wheel. Driving on a suspended license puts you in the wrong before the conversation even starts at that point. Every decision you make on the road becomes a bigger issue, and the court won't overlook something that basic.
Okay. 2 times now I've let it go. Remember?
Let what go?
I said enjoy the day, enjoy your horse, all that. So I let it go. The time before that I let it go. But Your Honor, today I need to put something on the record. This is very serious.
Put something on the record all the time. Go ahead.
Okay. No, not last time. Okay. Your Honor, this case, assault and battery case, has gone over a year. And since October, I've fought tooth and nail for discovery. I still haven't been given the hospital report, any photos, any, there's a lot missing from discovery still. Remember, since October, we've—
No, I remember you mentioning it, but hold on a second, Mr. Bloom. Has the discovery been requested, Mr.?
Yeah.
Hold on. This is why, listen, Mr. Bernstein. Discovery referencing, Jeff.
Hospital report that Deputy Sawyer says there was a hospital report. There was. I'm wondering how this case was even brought about, Your Honor, because—
Okay, Mr. Bloom.
There was never a report.
Mr. Bloom.
Okay, I'll let it go. I'll let my attorney—
because you keep asking me questions you know I can't necessarily answer.
Okay, let me get on with the real stuff.
Oh, okay.
Per transcripts.
No,
I still haven't received the transcripts.
Of what?
3-6. Remember I asked for the transcripts from 3-6? I still haven't received transcripts from 3-6. That's 3 months ago. I know it takes a while, especially this being a misdemeanor case.
Hang on. We have to have a written request for the transcripts. And Mr. Bloom, here's what I'm going to suggest. If you need those, again, you have an attorney, tell your attorney that's what you need.
Okay, well, this is my assistance of counsel, just like Ms. Barroso has assistance and you have assistance.
I don't have assistants. I have individuals that I work for that are professionals, so I don't know what you have.
If we're being completely honest, the real issue here isn't complicated. It's that Jeffrey Bloom is operating with logic that just doesn't add up. And yes, you heard that correctly. Bloom isn't just someone who constantly lands himself in trouble and refuses to take accountability. He also claims to be a self-taught constitutional expert who believes he can outsmart every attorney he's already dismissed. In his mind, he's the legal mastermind of the courtroom. In reality, he's creating more problems than he's solving.
Oh,
I don't have real, but go ahead.
I can clarify what Jeff's talking about. I ordered an audio recording of that hearing, and someone in my office we did a transcription of it for Jeff. But I think what he wants me to request is an actual transcript, and I just didn't.
And so they can do that, pay for it, and I'm sure it will be accomplished. But if we haven't received a written request for that, then that won't happen. So,
thank you. Well, I ain't gonna go through all this. I just need to put a little bit on record. Per transcripts from 10-4, you stated that you believe everything a Washtenaw County Sheriff's 22. Washtenaw County Sheriff Deputy says is true. And you believe everything a Washtenaw County Sheriff's Deputy says.
Hold on a second. What are you reading to me right now?
Something that I want to state on record, Your Honor.
No, but what you're obviously stating what somebody else said. I'm just trying to figure out where it's coming.
You said
on the 24th of
on 10-4 of 22.
In this case?
No. You stated that you believe everything a Washtenaw County Sheriff's Deputy says. Correct?
I don't recall saying that.
And you were upset that my attorney questions the deputy's authority or authenticity and requested said officer to be under oath. And there is proof that deputy testified with reckless disregard for truth. You were also misled on 9/13, 10/4, and 11/7.
Mr. Bloom, is this in regard to your other matter?
This is regard to everything.
Well, no, it can't be in regard to everything. It's got to be in regard to your other matter because this didn't start. No, stop. This case didn't start until 10/18. So if you're referring to a record from another case,
then I'm past that.
Then you're past what?
I'm past the other case. Here we go. This is this case.
Honestly, Judge Simpson's expression tells the whole story without a single word spoken. You can practically see the exhaustion in his eyes. And true to form, Jeffrey Bloom isn't the kind of man who lets anyone, not another person, and definitely not a judge, slow him down when he's determined to keep talking. The moment he opens his mouth, you already know the courtroom is in for another round of his endless commentary.
Canon 2, Canon 2A, Canon 3, which in part reads, a judge shall not initiate, permit, or consider ex parte communications or consider other communications concerning a pending or impending matter that are made outside the party's presence or their lawyer's presence. Canon 3A4B in part reads, not only is it a gross breach of the appearance of justice when the defendant's principal adversaries are given private access to the ear of the court, it is a dangerous procedure.
What are you, Mr. Bloom? I'm going to stop you because what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the transcripts from 3/6, Your Honor, where you stated you had notes, you stated you had a phone call from ex parte communicators.
No, that was regarding your dental?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was a motion we filed.
No, but that has nothing to do with the case.
But I mentioned that on
and
other
I,
you did
but
that.
Mr. Bloom, no, Mr. Bloom, because if you're going to, you don't want to hear, I don't. Because what you're saying is incorrect.
Okay.
I had a communication. Right. I disclosed that to the parties because it came to the court's attention, not by the court doing it, that there was something regarding the dental work. I don't know what it was about the dental work.
There were other matters who did the same thing, Your Honor. I'm not
Goodbye, Mr. Bloom. Goodbye. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care.
We'll contact the Senior Commission.
Have fun.
That wraps up the first hearing, and honestly, it's hard to feel any sympathy for him. Staying in custody seems like the safest place for everyone involved, especially given his long history of chaos in and out of the courtroom. Now let's shift gears to the next case on the docket, because our viral defendant has made his return, and this appearance brings a whole new layer of drama to the story.
Good afternoon. May it please this honorable court, Dion Webster Cox appearing on behalf of Mr. Harris. How are you, Your Honor?
We will see.
We're good. We're good.
Mr. Brown, or somebody from the PD's office, because I did not get a substitution. I got an appearance.
Oh, I've got a substitution right here.
It's signed off on?
It is.
All right, then I don't need to address. I don't need to address the public defender's motion to withdraw. I'll consider that withdrawn, given the substitution. I do have an appearance, and I will sign off on the substitution.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, what are we doing today?
So, Your Honor, we were going to, there's several options that my client.
Well, and I want you to know, counsel, that because of certain things, the court has a number of things I have to say.
Okay.
Because I think the record, given particularly some of Mr. Harris's comments with reference to this court potentially acting, what at least as I'm to understand is on what some may be, or is it, let's put it this way. People are saying, and quite frankly, your client has made the assertion that the Pittsfield Township, as well as this court, was acting on some type of defective or faulty information, which I will tell you, counsel, caused the court, given what the court did, to investigate what my ruling was. And I will tell you that that assertion is absolutely correct with reference to any faulty information that either came through to the Pittsfield Township Department of Public Safety or to this court ultimately at the May 15th hearing. And I think it needs to be stated, I've been asked for comments. I have refrained from comments, as is my normal practice is. This court with the pending case will speak on the record. And so I am going to make sure that the record is very, very clear as to what this court knows and what this court acted on May 15th. And we can start with this. And my basis for doing it is because of what was said about what this whole process was. And that an indication, counsel, and I know, counsel, you've been before me before.
Absolutely.
I know it is not coming from you, but you also know how I am.
I do.
And the thing is that if for whatever reason, the one time in my life I was wrong, I will say it, and did. But when I'm not wrong, and when people are not to blame, then it also needs to be said. So I will try to get through this as quick as I possibly can. But I will tell you, first of all, with any reference to your client having had a license on that day, and some indication or misunderstanding as to whether or not he had a license. Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license, ever, and has never had a license in the other 49 states and commonwealths that form up this great union. He has never had a license.
I want to pause the video here, because this moment is actually more important than it first appears. Up until now, the defendant has repeatedly misled everyone, the court, the media, and even his own attorney about the real status of his driver's license. His entire defense hinges on the idea that the court system and the Secretary of State failed to complete the proper steps after his previous child support case wrapped up. According to him, that supposed mistake is the only reason his license was still listed as suspended, even though he claims he did everything required to fix it. But here's where Judge Simpson drops the real hammer. Even if every procedural step had been handled perfectly by both the state and the defendant, it wouldn't have changed a thing. Why? Because he never had a valid driver's license in the first place, not in that state, not in any state across the country. So the entire foundation of his argument collapses the moment that fact comes to light.
In point of fact, when they suspended his license, and what people don't understand, when they suspended his license in Saginaw, they don't suspend the license. They suspend the privilege to drive in this state. Hence, for example, if he had had a Kentucky license, he would be able to drive everywhere that Kentucky would allow him to drive. He just couldn't drive in Michigan because his privileges had been restricted. I know you know that, but that wasn't at all said. But it doesn't matter because he didn't have a license ever. There is also then, and I will, when it is necessary, come to the defense of my sister courts, and I will come to the defense of Saginaw. They got a great chief judge. The chief judge answered the question. But I will tell you, that court and its friend of the court did nothing wrong. His license was, his driving privileges, better stated, were unsuspended in 2022. That required Mr. Harris to do something. He didn't do it. Therefore, that friend of the court was under no obligation to send anything to the Secretary of State. Now, I hated that I had to look at all of this, but when there's a question as to what I did, I'm going to look at everything to make sure that what I did was all in order. There's then an indication from that because that wasn't sent, there was a direct attack on Michigan's Department of Secretary of State's office, saying that the Secretary of State was somehow at fault. Let me tell you something. Secretary of State did what they were supposed to do. And in point of fact, they did nothing because they hadn't gotten anything from the court because Mr. Harris had not paid the reinstatement. This week, or the latter part of last week, once he paid that, Saginaw friend of the court did what they should do, and they sent it. Immediately, based upon the information that I have, the Secretary of State did what they do every day. They took that suspension off of his driving record, and he was then unsuspended. And then your client did what he needed to do with reference to the Secretary of State and paid a reinstatement. Okay. Just a second, Mr. Schiller. I'm going to let everybody respond because
Thank you.
I am not done yet.
Okay.
All right.
You're covering a lot of the points for me. Thank you, Your Honor.
And so that came down to that. So the information at the time that I had, that Pittsfield Department of Public Safety had, was all correct at the time of both Pittsfield stop as well as the May 15th day. It was all correct. There was no error by anybody. It was a failure on the part of Mr. Harris to do certain things. Now, I grant you that sometimes that can be a complicated process, but it was certainly not anybody's fault that that didn't happen other than that wasn't paid. Now, here's the other thing, and I'm like maybe in church where I say I'm about finished now.
So essentially, the defendant claims he's too immobile to go down to the Secretary of State to handle the process of reinstating his driver's license, but ironically, he somehow manages to make it to get a state-issued ID. That's already a red flag right there. And let's be clear, lying to a judge is never a good idea, especially when the court already has all the dates and receipts to prove what really happened. In situations like this, the facts speak louder than any excuse.
The other part of this is, this stop was in October. Most of the cases that we've heard just in this last afternoon are driving while license suspended cases. That's part of my Wednesday afternoon. We go through great pains to try to get people their licenses back, which is really how it should happen. Between October and because I don't live under a rock, I actually watch things. You look very nice on TV.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There was something that was said that was very disturbing to me. And I'm just going to let you know because I believe in being fair with everybody. The question was asked along the lines between October of 2023 and the point in time of the May 15th hearing. Was there an attempt by Mr. Harris to correct his license? Here's the part that was disturbing for me, so that you know.
Okay.
Mr. Harris indicated that at some point he had been involved in some accident. And being involved into the accident, that he was basically bedridden or at least housebound, he could not get to the Secretary of State. That was set up there, and I'm going to presume, because my knowledge of counsel, defense counsel is, I know you don't misrepresent anything.
Right.
You never do.
Right.
That's not true.
Okay.
He purposely stated that he could not get to the Secretary of State, which, for the way we handle things in this court, would have placed him in a whole different category. We would have tried to find a way, let's figure it out. And the reason I know that is because Mr. Harris, on December 28th of 2023, do you know where you were?
December 28th, 23.
23rd.
2023.
I know I was laid up from our accident.
You were at the Secretary of State's office. And you were at the Secretary of State's office because you redid and got your new Michigan ID. I have the date.
In this courtroom, the statements causing all the fuss are the ones the defendant and his attorney made to a news station. They tried to pin all the blame on the friend of the court and the Secretary of State, claiming those agencies messed up. That's exactly why Judge Simpson is so frustrated with this case. Now let's watch and see how the lawyer attempts to justify their actions. Spoiler, it's going to be interesting.
December 28th, 2023. You did. And so that you also know, and in all fairness to counsel, because I don't know if counsel knows this or not, the way I know that he's never had a license is because May 3rd, 1990, he was 19 at the time. May 3rd, 1999, he applied for his first Michigan ID. Counsel knows, so I do, you cannot have both. You either have an ID or you have a license, one of the two. He has religiously every year gotten a new ID. And so he knows that he doesn't have a license. And quite frankly, I just wish he would have said that at the beginning. And all of this hoopla could have been just put all aside. And we all go through the process as we do with all of the people coming here to try to get him his license back. But his falsehoods, misstatements are not going to fare him well in this court. I'm done for now. I'm sure I will have something else to say. Whichever one of you would like to speak first, you may.
I'll wait to go last.
Yes, I spent yesterday at the Pittsfield Township Police Department with Officer Monaster, performing a traffic stop in this case. I also noticed the December 8th, 2023 date, and I know the significance of that, and the court just went through that painstakingly, and I thank you for that. In addition, at the traffic stop, when I was at the police department yesterday, we watched body cam video. At least twice during this traffic stop, he acknowledged to the officer that he did not have a valid license. Quote unquote, quote, actually, I don't have a valid license, close quote. The question was, are you a valid driver? Quote, I am not, close quote. So, you know what, this is all this hoopla and the circus atmosphere, in my opinion, is an affront to the justice system. I mean, I've been a prosecutor for more than 30 years, and to see this kind of hoopla around a driving while license suspended case is ridiculous. And it wasn't caused by this court. It wasn't caused by the Pittsfield Township Police Department. It was caused by the extrajudicial statements made outside this courtroom.
Controversy here isn't just because the video went viral. The real issue is how the lawyer and her client responded when the news station reached out. Instead of owning up to what happened, they played the victim card. Now, to her credit, the lawyer was probably fed a mountain of false information by her client, but still she should have taken the time to check the laws and verify the facts before making incorrect statements to the press. That's basic professional responsibility.
Okay, so.
Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you very much. Well, first thing I'd like to say is, very first thing is we're here and that we all saw this video. I wasn't in court. I wasn't even on YouTube watching the court today, right? I saw it because someone saw it and decided to post it. I can assure you that was not Mr. I don't think he has the capacity to be able to post it like that on YouTube or Instagram. So that was not him. And it happened to take off and go viral. So he had what we saw was him saying he was driving, which he should not have been driving, right? We're told not to drive on Zoom while doing that. So that's how this came to the attention, because the court, I saw you. He said, I can't believe this. Is he driving? And we all said that. Everyone who saw that video asked the same question. And that it became a joke. It became a complete joke. Now, with respect to what we want to do, and I cannot say anything is with respect to what my client has said, but when we talk about the hoopla, my client didn't start the hoopla. Perhaps he's made some comments, but he didn't start the hoopla whatsoever. That was someone that was outside of his control as to how it went viral.
Except they did do their jobs. Maybe it's time to point the finger somewhere else, like at the person who keeps handing you problems every morning and not making sure you actually follow through on your end.
He had no control over that, and that I'm going to stand on that. He did not send it out to Instagram. He didn't send it out to wherever. He didn't do that part. So with respect to, did he have I don't want to try this case today at all, but what I want to do is focus on what's good. Now, what was good? That day in October, this officer here, that could have gone a whole other direction. And I'm so happy that you were so kind and courteous to my client. Thank you, officer. Thank you so much, because it could have gone another direction. We are here right now. My client has an appointment to go to the Secretary of State for his permit. He's working on that. I want to focus on how do we correct this and cure this? How do we go forward with this situation? Whatever, he was not under oath under any of the things that he said. So we're not talking about any type of perjury going on. Very true, right? True. So with that being the case, let's move forward with this. He is here. This is what I'd like. Because
Counsel, let me just
yes.
I would like to move forward too on this case. We handle these cases all the time. But I will tell you, as you know, having appeared before me, the one thing I don't like is when people don't take responsibility for what they've done. When they take responsibility for it, we will use whatever we can to try to get you to another spot, because it doesn't behoove any of us for you to be in that spot. One other thing that I will say, when you say it wasn't started by him, it certainly was. It certainly was when he made his first statement to WXYZ about blaming people for this happening.
No, he's definitely not off the hook. Judge Simpson didn't even bother with a second warning. He went straight to handing down a third complete with a stain lecture. It's just a shame it took this guy until he was practically a grown adult to finally earn his first driver's license, and more importantly, start grasping the basics of honesty and personal responsibility.
And he shouldn't have done it, because when you look at the whole thing, the person that needed to be blamed, and we can go back to a lot of other points, but I'm not here to embarrass it. But the person that needed to be blamed is the person that he was staring at in the mirror. He didn't do what he should have done, and that's okay. the majority of people that come here on a licensing didn't do what they were supposed to do. That's like a given. They don't go about blaming anybody. They just say, Your Honor, I didn't pay the ticket. Your Honor, I just didn't do it. I just didn't have the time to do it. I just didn't take whatever.
Right.
Just own it. Once you own it, then it becomes a whole lot easier just to move forward. Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted you and I said I wouldn't, but
Thank you. I understand.
my court.
I no, I know who you are, and I respect that. So, and where I am is where I've always been, because I can assure you that when he did speak to WXYZ that day, I wasn't representing him. I was representing him yesterday, right? And and you would heard my message is that what steps are to correct this, and that's what I'm about, Your Honor. How do we correct this, right? I understand the entire process. I have not gone into detail, but I will take the word of the court and of Mr. Stiller here, brother counsel, and about the background and the history of it. But how do we go forward? And that's why I'm here to sort of minimize. You okay?
You know, it's never a good look when the prosecutor signals that the court might have to deviate from the usual proceedings to tackle an issue potentially involving the bailiff. You could practically see the lawyer's reaction. She was caught completely off guard and clearly wasn't expecting this curveball.
What we're looking for, because there are some options here. My client has indicated to me and would like me to indicate to the court that he is in the process of procuring his license. Hopefully that privilege will be available to him, but he does have, as you stated earlier, and I have the receipts, he did pay the reinstatement fee. Those fees are paid. Anything that was out in the previous court, those fees have been paid, and I've been presented with those receipts. In addition, on tomorrow, he's got his permit test coming up, and then after that, because he's an adult, he's working on it so that he can take advantage of the offers that are available, because as you say, this court does want to help. Absolutely. And with that, because my client was in an accident, and I haven't seen the medical records, but because of some of the things it could be, I don't know. But sometimes our memories get a little foggy. Now, am I going back to 1999? No, I'm not. But I'm just saying that I'm saying from this day forward, he is working diligently to take the steps necessary to get this driver's license so he can take advantage of the generous offer. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
I need to say this, Your Honor. One additional thing. I think Fletcher Cox and I need to approach the bench. It may involve Mr. Allen.
Who's Mr.
I
Allen?
know, because I know what it is.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, who's Mr. Allen?
That's my bailiff.
All right, folks, that wraps up today's video. Judge Simpson handed down a future court date, and the rest of the hearing was mostly procedural, so you're not really missing anything major. If you want to see the full uncut version of this courtroom drama, check out Old Squishy Gardener's channel. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If not, feel free to hit dislike, but don't forget to drop a comment below with your thoughts and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my future content. I'm Team Skeptic, and I'll catch you next time.
Oh.
Counsel, you probably didn't know this, and I wasn't sure where the prosecutor was going to bring. He's got a warrant.
No, I did not know.
Yes, he has a warrant for his arrest. A bench warrant out of
Allen Park.
Allen Park. Mr. Allen.
24th District Court.
Okay.
The shocking thing about it, for driving while license suspended, that he didn't take care of.
Okay. Well, like I said, he wants to handle.
So what it is that, and it's a valid warrant. I happen to be within their radius of pickup. Now, having said that, I don't know if they will pick him up.
Okay.
I will say that what should have happened, I'm not going to go through and try to figure out whether it did happen, but when he was arrested, when he turned himself in on my revocation of bond, upon being released, he should have been apprised, warned, and released to go take care of it. I don't know whether he was. I really don't care whether he was or not. All I know is that was back at mid-May, and it hasn't been taken care of. And it's still valid. I was hoping maybe that somebody was going to try and take care of it, because I'm sure if you had known, they would have been done. So much so that part of my delay in getting out of here was to make sure that it was valid. I had my staff run him right before I came out, so that if it hadn't gotten taken care of and in, then fine, we were okay and I didn't need to deal with it.
Right.
But it's still there.
Okay.
So will July 17th work as a new date for you to come back? Because as I understand it, he is right now not licensed. So if he goes in on Thursday, gets his permit, he's got to drive for at least 30